Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled Millions of Men No Longer Want to Get Married, and you can thank the government for that. And guys, this article is written by a woman, and she is essentially blaming government and government policies that greatly benefit women in terms of divorce and settlements and all that, for the reason that many men are waking up and simply are not getting married. And the numbers are just skyrocketing. And absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, that is part of the issue why so many men are not getting hitched. They realize, they know darn well that the way things are set up, not just here in the United States, but around the world, different countries, that, man and woman get married, and basically she decides one day she wants to end it. She's mad because he didn't take out the garbage or left the toilet seat up, and that's it, she's getting a divorce. The guy's screwed. He's guaranteed to lose half his shit or more. Assets, house, car. She gets custody of the kids. He gets screwed over in terms of alimony, child support, all that. I mean, it's really a shame. And again, with regards to the kids, even if he's a great father and she's a shitty mother, doesn't matter. The odds are kids are going with her. And when I saw this, guys, when I first saw the article, I saw the headline and saw how just a little bit of it. I actually thought that she was, looking out for guys, realizing that, guys are really getting the shaft here. It's not cool, because there are women out there that definitely agree with a lot of things I talk about and realize that feminism has gone way, 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 way out of control. It's a big mess. It's bullshit. And that guys are getting the shaft and don't like that. They do. There are a lot. A lot of them follow me on this channel, and they don't want to see their sons get screwed over by women. They don't want to see their sons turn to a bunch of, emasculated pussies, which this generation is going in that direction. But no, you can see in this article that the lady who writes this, she's looking out for her. She's looking out for women, absolutely, because they're scared. They're worried, because at the end of the day, I don't care how strong of a woman a lot of these is being molded in this day and age. Ultimately, nature's going to take over, the biological clocks are going to go off, and they're going to get married and have kids. And if more and more men aren't getting married by the millions as the numbers are growing, they're in deep shit to achieve these type of goals. And so I'm doing this every day to help guys out with reality. Now, this article gets into the to the aspect in terms of with the government. What she's not talking about also is the reason guys aren't getting married is because basically a lot of realizing, because of how they grew up, that simply, in no way, shape, or form is it what it's cracked up to be. What it's sold in movies and television and all that, okay? Because they've observed their parents go through it, or their uncles, their aunts, or maybe older brothers, or whatever, or friends' parents. And they realize that, and there's no way I'm going to go through this. And they see how, a lot of times, everything seems wonderful and great, and then the couple says, I do. And what happens? All of a sudden, and we all know this, all of a sudden that, she's no longer interested in sex, or it drops a lot. She starts putting on a lot of weight, cuts her hair, starts becoming really bossy and bitchy, less feminine, stops taking care of herself. And to be fair, guys do it too. I'm not going to let guys off the hook here. A lot of guys completely let themselves go. And all these other things, So literally it's a bait and switch. And they realize, I don't want to be stuck in something like that. Because literally the beautiful, sexy, feminine girl that they fell for and got married to, a few years later, she looks like a cross between Rosie O'Donnell and Jabba the Hutt. And no guys want to be married to that. So they're realizing, screw this, I'm going to be single. I'm going to be a bachelor my whole life. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get into this. And by the way, the other day I announced that I'm now on Twitter, but also a bunch of you guys asked me to go on Parler. So as of today, I'm now on Parler. So if you guys follow Parler or Twitter, scroll down in the description. You'll see a link to both of them. And be sure to follow me for daily content. All right, so getting into the article, it says here, why are so many men refusing to get married? Is it because of women, or is it because of the unfair family justice system? Both. Says here, marriage is on the decline, and it's a scary thought. Imagine dating a man for years, cohabitating, and giving the relationship your all without him ever having to put a ring on it. No matrimony, no wedding dress, and no big celebration with family and friends. What about the thought of having children without marriage? It's fine if you don't believe in marriage, but the rest of us do. Most women look forward to tying the knot with the man of their dreams, but what will happen if millions of men refuse to get married? This is what's currently happening in America and many other parts of the world. And if I have anything to do with it, I will do my part to help guys wake up and realize this so that millions more men will be happy and have happy lives and not have to go down and make the same mistakes as so many guys did. And as you can see here, this is in, she's looking out for the girls. It says here, historically low marriage rates in America. U.S. News reported that marriage rates reached a historic low in 2018, with 6.5 people out of 1,000 getting married, the lowest level in 118 years. That seems insanely low to me, but okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but that seems insanely low to me. Is that 1,000 people? I mean, who's in the equation here? Who do they survey? I mean, are they surveying teenagers and kids and old people, or is it all people in a certain age range that could get married? It says here, Philip Cohen, a sociology professor at the University of Maryland, says, women's independence and gender equality is a huge factor in the long-term decline in marriage. Absolutely. It is no accident that at the time in the 1970s, several decades ago, when all of a sudden the feminist movement really started taking off and getting its iron grip on things, that at the same exact time, that's when marriage rates, people getting married, started to decline. And that's also no accident that the divorce rates started going up. Isn't that interesting? She goes on, there has also been a rise in men's rights groups such as Men Going Their Own Way and the Manosphere, where men in droves complain about men's unfair treatment in relationships and family courts. They're tired of being browbeaten by women and the gender-biased laws against men. For this reason, millions of men are opting out of marriage altogether. I've noticed, guys, that whenever you read an article and somebody talks about, men going their own way and all that, there's always kind of a snotty way in which the writer will say it. Like right here, she said, where men in droves complain about the unfair treatment. Look, there are indeed guys out there that are going to whine and cry and complain about things. I'm not going to say that's not true. However, most guys, by and large, are just simply talking about what's going on. They're bringing truth to everybody else as a big warning. Don't make the mistakes that we all did, and don't fall into the trap. That's what it really is. But of course, the writer here is being insulting to men about that because we're actually talking about it. It continues, men avoid marriage because it's too risky and too costly. For many men, the rewards of getting married are far less than they used to be, while the costs and dangers for it are far higher. Divorce rates are at sky high. 45% of marriages end in divorce, and women initiate 80% of them. Well, I've heard as high as 60% of marriages end in divorce. Sometimes I hear 50, sometimes I hear 55, I hear 60. But the point is, guys, an awful lot. Typically, at least 50% of the time, one every two marriages. So every time you guys, if you go to a wedding, and probably most of the guys here who follow me don't like to go to weddings, but if you do because, it's a family member or a close friend, you're like, fine, I'll go. The odds are that every other one you go to, they're going to end in divorce. I mean, that's mad. That's crazy if you're going to actually get into something like that, knowing that it's a 50% chance or more that it's going to end and you're going to get royally screwed. Who would do that? That's insane. And the part that says here about 80% of the time women initiate them, of course, because before they know darn well they got it made. Seriously, everything's in their favor. But what's interesting is I'm noticing is that nowadays more and more guys are the ones that are initiating divorce. I know lots of guys that have initiated divorces, friends and family and all that. And even if they take a hit, they'd rather do it and just get out, and they know they can rebuild their wealth and start over. Because, and interesting is that all these different guys I know that do this, they're all in their 40s. All like early to mid 40s, which mean, and they got married in their, early to mid 20s. So they had kids. They were in the marriage for almost 2 decades and realized, obviously, what you see on television and movies is a bunch of crap. And they've been miserable and not getting laid and all that, or married to some fat ass wife. They're out of there. They still got a chance. And guys, in this day and age, if you're in your 40s, it's not over, okay? Believe me. Even if you're out of shape, even if you haven't taken care of yourself your whole life, you can right now, if you're not happy, join a gym, get a trainer, learn how to do things in the gym, get your body in shape, talk to a nutritionist or something like that, eat better, eat healthy, and in 6 months to a year, you could transform your body, you'll look better, you'll feel better, you'll attract women if that's what you want to do in terms of just casual dating and hooking up. And you can do things to then just start over. You can then live cheap for a while, save your money and grow it. In a few years, you're good to go. Life ain't over, guys. So you can always get a second chance, a clean slate. It doesn't stop. All right, goes on. Ultimately, men know they could lose a lot, from losing their freedom to being financially exploited to losing custody of their children. It's common knowledge that the courts favor women over men. They're renowned for favoring women regarding the division of assets, child support, and alimony, even if they aren't married. Yeah, and listen to this. It says here, for example, an Ontario businessman was ordered to pay more than $50,000 a month to his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, despite neither owning a house nor having children together. Under Ontario law, an unmarried couple is considered common law spouses if they have cohabitated, living together in a conjugal relationship for at least 3 years. I did this story about a few months ago about this guy, very extremely wealthy. He was with this woman, and they would sometimes live in his house, sometimes her house, back and forth. They never had any kids. They never actually owned property together. But he did ask her to marry him a bunch of times, and she didn't. And a bunch of other things that were boneheaded moves on his part. So when they eventually broke up, she sued him to get things because she felt entitled to that, and she won. So even if you don't get married, guys, this is what can happen if you live with a woman for a certain period of time, depending on your country's laws, or here in the United States, the state laws. So be aware of that, guys, of common law marriages. I tell you guys before, don't move in with your girlfriend because everything's going to change if you do, but also look what could happen with that regard. Goes on, under the topic of men losing their children. In the UK, Liz Jones, a columnist at Daily Mail, reported how she stole her ex-boyfriend's sperm to try to get pregnant but failed, and how one of her friends lied to a new boyfriend that she was on the pill. He's now in a new relationship and has to pay support for a child he never sees. Says entrapment pregnancy, aka forced fatherhood, is a common problem in the United States too. Many men feel paying support for a child they didn't agree to have is unfair, but the courts see it as doing what's right for the child. A woman receiving child support can also claim government assistance, welfare, free health care, etc., while the man gets nothing. So guys, as I've said countless times before, if you are dating and hooking up and doing all that, make sure you wear protection, always. And when you're done doing your business, you personally dispose of that protection. Don't go throw it in her garbage can. Because I have heard horror stories where women will grab that condom and do what she's got to do to get pregnant with the leftovers. No joke, okay? Or, if you are older and you are absolutely 100% certain that you do not want to have kids, consider having a vasectomy. Help yourself out, because this type of crap can happen, and it'll just completely derail all your plans that you have in life if all of a sudden you got to pay for some kid. Continues. In the event of a married couple divorcing, men only get custody of their children 10% of the time, but are always responsible for paying child support and alimony. Many men complain that courts send the message that fathers are not essential to raising children beyond the point of paying child support. Well, there are many members of the you-know-what group that are definitely been pushing that father's not essential and all that, or men are not essential. We all know this. But look how many boys are raised by single moms. And look at right now in this day and age, how many guys are just in their teens and 20s and 30s, that generation, more feminized guys than ever before. These weak, sensitive, emasculated guys. They don't have a man around to basically show them the way. So it's our job, guys, to help try to turn things around. And for you guys that are watching that are grandfathers or uncles, and let's just say that if you're an uncle and your sister there's no husband there, you need to help set a good example for that boy. Or if you're a grandfather and again your daughter's raising your grandson, you need to set a good example for that boy as well. A masculine presence in his life. Otherwise, look what can happen. She finishes up with her closing thoughts saying, in a society that strives for equality, maybe these gender laws are outdated. Women make up 50% of the labor force, so why do we claim unfair gender divides regarding marriage and family disputes? If the risk involved in entering marriage were equally distributed, perhaps more men would feel like they have less to lose. Absolutely. It's such a minefield, and change might not happen fast. Still, if we want to see men viewing marriage in a positive light, again, so we can continue to have strong family units. That part's underlined, by the way, in case you're following this. And you can see here, this isn't just about helping guys out because guys are getting mistreated and all that, which we certainly are. This is in the self-interest of her and other women, because right now she's making the point, underlined, we can continue to have strong family units. It will take a long-term focused effort from women, men, and the government. Being aware of the issues men face, empathizing, and trying to see it from their perspective is a great place to start. So, at the end of this article, guys, there's a section where people can leave comments, and I had to read through them because I was just curious. And I got 3 comments here from different guys, different parts of the world that are dead on to why things are the way they are and why men are going their own way and all that. So I'll read through them real quick. First one says, I was married and wasted 10 years of my time and probably 20 years of investments and liquidity. I'm fit, attractive, and successful. I dated close to 100 women after my divorce. Fact is, most women are a burden to my goals. I want to retire early. Women seem to want to travel, shop, have the best house and the best car, etc. They want all this, but they cannot get it on their own. They also want to jump on my smooth-running ship and then have equal say in the life's course. I gave up finding an attractive, practical, financially stable woman around 36 years old. My best friends are 3 other men just like me. We've realized that life is just easier and more certain without a wife. Dead on. I couldn't agree more. They get in the way of your goals and your ambitions, and yeah, they want to jump on and have a say in how you do things with your life and your money. Meanwhile, you're the one that busted your butt all those years to make these things possible. And I said before, guys, with me, a bunch of really good close friends that are 100% reliable. My freedom to do what I want. This is the life, guys. Another quote from another guy says, I am one such man. I lost everything after a 12-year marriage. I played the game. I supported women. I was an advocate for equality and rights of women. After I got a dose of false allegations, all my assets wiped out, unable to see my kids, I found MGTOW. For 14 years, I joined every online group, started a massive program to warn men, especially young men, against feminism and marriage. My biggest wish was for me to know at 25 what I know now. Many of my young friends and their sons saw 1 or 2 get a separation before they had kids. The younger men refused to get married. I became every young man's walking lesson. The bigger problem is feminism. I'm speaking in code because if I say more than a few times, they're going to flag this and cause me some headaches. Feminism will destroy the government and your civilization. The story of Samson and Delilah was an important lesson. And the last one, he says here, I'm in my 20s. I found love twice. They both cheated. Gave every excuse they could other than accountability. One left for a wealthy, polyamorous guy. All this was in the midst of Me Too movement. Then I discovered MGTOW. It's true, some men age like a fine wine. At age 32, I finally got fit because of their betrayal and the ensuing heartache. Then I stacked wealth. At 35, I'm buying my second condo next month, this time in Miami. The first was in California. I'm doing this alone and in the midst of the global pandemic. The exes are alone now too. The difference is they have nothing. They seem to only be mad at me for this outcome. It's sad, really. However, I have no regrets, along with millions of other men. I will always be for the greater good and giving back to those who need it. But I will be doing it alone. So there you go, guys. There's 3 examples, 3 different guys around the world sharing a little summary about their whole thing. So all these type of reasons is why men more and more every day are saying, no way, no wedding bells, no ring on the finger, not going to happen. Okay, and everybody's different. You got guys that are absolutely have nothing to do with women whatsoever. That's it forever. They've had it. Period. To guys that are into pump and dump. And then other guys that have rotations of a few girls they see, maybe 1 a week or 2 a week or something like that. They go back and forth. To other guys that are serial monogamists. And then other guys that are relationship guys, serial monogamists. To guys that get married. even though I warn them not to do it. Okay, I got all sorts of guys that follow me here. At the end of the day, you got to choose which one is for you, what's best, but it's your life. You do what you want to do, what makes you happy, okay? The time of doing things to make everybody else happy, the family, the church, society, that is going bye-bye, okay? You got to do what's best for you guys, seriously. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.